Crazy to me that so late in your career, you decided, hey, I'm going to go get a PhD on top of running an entire office.
Yeah, it's weird, right?
Tell me a little bit about just like the intellectual curiosity that you had in order to, and just the time, the hours that you were giving to being in the office, but also the hours, just the hours you were giving to just a PhD. Like what was your typical week looking like when you were in the midst of trying to write your thesis? And
the time was incredible.
did you have a family at that point too?
I did. And my youngest daughter was born, I think, soon after I started the PhD. I have two daughters. One's 11, one's 6. The time was rough. I mean, Riverside, again, as I said, was very understanding, but still, that is a full-time job plus. Mm-hmm. And I was probably putting in another 30 hours a week on the PhD. So it was like back to analyst times. As much as I said that doing deals wasn't really what I wanted to do, that hard work, that work ethic has never bothered me. In fact, my wife told a boss of mine at some point that I get bored if I'm not busy. I said, I don't know if you should really say that, but that is something that I've always had. So it meant that I was working hard during the week. I tend to be a morning person. So before I'd go to the office, I'd get in typically a couple hours on the PhD. I was traveling back and forth. The weekends meant that I was doing a lot of work, because if I was doing work during the week, then I'd be doing PhD work on the weekend. So it was...
How did your wife approve of all this? I don't understand. I have 3 young kids. If I was working 70 hours, I'd be getting an earful.
She was very good about it, but it was a lot of work. I mean, I would say, and I've had this conversation with other people, if people want to think about doing what I did, it can be a very fulfilling opportunity. Someone who wrote me a recommendation when I first applied gave me some good advice, which is that if you want to do a PhD at this point, you have to know for certain that this is something that you want to do, and this is something that you have to do because you really want it. It can't be something that you're doing just because you think it's a professionally good thing to do, because there will come a time, not that far away, when you realize how many hours you're putting into it, and you're going to have to be comfortable with that. And that turned out to definitely be true. I found it to be one of the most fulfilling experiences that I've ever had, but it was absolutely a ton of work.